What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome back to another video here on Pig City Hockey. Today we're going to be doing a prospect update because it's been a long time since I've talked about our prospects, and I want to talk about Manitoba Moose's Thomas Milic. Now, recently Thomas Milic actually made the Manitoba Moose, and after starting the year down in the ECHL, he's been actually playing with the Moose, and this is a bad Moose team, but Milic has a very bright future, and I've been very excited to watch his development ever since we drafted him. Honestly, even going back to watching him on Team Canada, he just excited me with his play. I watched a good amount of him playing with the Seattle Thunderbirds, and he was fantastic with Seattle. And you go look at his record. Obviously, they were able to win in the final year as well as playing with Canada. He just had a very fantastic junior career, and the fact that he was able to fall to the point that he did, in my opinion, kind of lucky. I know goalies always fall, and I know that where he fell in the draft, a lot of people expected him, but it's just crazy to me how good he really is. This is a guy that was the MVP of the playoffs when he won with the Seattle Thunderbirds, and the Jets were able to snatch him up at a really convenient spot for them back in the 2023 draft last year, the 5th round, 151st overall. And we saw a bit of him with the Young Stars Classic this year. He played okay down there, and as well as Dominic DiVincenzi was also there at that tournament, and that entire Jets team underwhelmed, so you didn't really get a good impression of him right off the back. And he went in and he started with the Admirals, and he was pretty damn good with the Admirals, I'm not gonna lie, putting up a 908 save percentage, 11-2 record rate there. He played very, very well down there with the Admirals, and for the longest time with the way the Moose were playing, it was like, okay, when is this guy gonna get a call up? He's earned it at this point, and the Moose are so bad, why not put him in at this point? But he was even an all-star in the ECHL this year. He was just so damn good, and eventually the Moose finally wised up and realized they better give him an opportunity and give him a look. They thought that, what, why not? He seems ready, and they sent Oscar Salmonine. He is gone. He has been sent down to the ECHL, and they called him up, Milic up, and he let's be real. So Oscar was not very good with the Moose. The Moose have not been good this year, so getting him out of there was the right decision. They break up Thomas Milic, and then ever since then, honestly, the Moose have kind of started to get on a hot run. They've played very, very bad all season long, and then they finally get guys like Dominic Toninato, Axel Johnson back in the lineup, and then Thomas Milic's arrival has also kind of helped them at the goaltending position. He's been pretty stable, and he's starting to play pretty damn good back there. 5-4-1 record, 901 save percentage, 277 goals against, and that's not terrible considering he's made this massive amount of jump in the last year just in professional level of hockey. And I feel like this is a good spot for him right now, and not carrying the entire workload is obviously good, especially with Delia there. He's on that contract, might as well use him. But at the end of the day, I think that it's going to work out really well for Thomas Milic, because the Moose are not a good team. Like, they're just bottom of everything this year, and if I'm not mistaken, they're the second worst team in the entire AHL. So at the end of the day, why not put the young guy in, get him some experience? He hasn't been that bad. He's actually had, like I said, some pretty damn good games. He's made some pretty good saves, and he's definitely impressed, as a backup position right now with Oscar gone, and hopefully, I don't think he's coming back, and if he does come back, he's probably not going to be a guy that the Jets ever use in that situation. But I think Thomas Milic just definitely has an opportunity, to pave the way for him to potentially become the backup sooner than later. Obviously, Dominic DiVincenzi is taking the long route. He's still playing down there in the OHL right now, and hopefully he'll make the jump next year to play with the Manitoba Moose. And obviously next year you could have an amazing tandem back there with Thomas Milic and Dominic DiVincenzi. That would be a very, very good tandem for the AHL potentially. And at the end of the day, this looks great for the Jets. But it's also funny that I'm talking about goalie prospects, because the Jets have some very, very interesting goalie prospects. But they just signed their elite Vezina nominated Vezina winner and future Vezina winner as well in Connor Hellebuck to that massive contract. So when these guys will get an opportunity with big club, I'm not exactly sure, but it's still exciting to see them playing and starting to get more opportunity at a higher level, especially with Thomas Milic and the Manitoba Moose. I'm really high on him. I think that he could be really good. Obviously, you look at the goaltenders this year, and Thomas Milic so far has definitely had the best numbers, obviously the least amount of games played, but that's something to look at, and I think that he's definitely going to improve, getting him into this a bad Moose team and giving him an opportunity to have to face a lot of shots and go in there with no real expectations and just try with the team and just try to play the best hockey that he can. I think that could be good for him right now. Obviously, we're seeing that he's starting to make a lot of good saves. Like I said, he's had a lot of good games, and he's made a lot of good, impressive performances, and this is a bad Moose team, so I know they've been on a little bit of a hot run lately, and I give them full credit there, but let's not, like you guys saw the standings not too long ago. This is the second worst team in the AHL, the worst team in their division, and the worst team in their conference. So at the end of the day, we can't really expect expect an impact like Thomas Milic to really put them over the top and make them make a playoff spot. At this point, you just want to see development from him, and that's exactly what he's been doing with the Moose. I think that he's been making a lot of good saves. Like I've already said, he's working on his confidence, and that's huge for him at this point because, that's all they really can do with a Moose team like this. Get the young guys in, get them some experience. We're seeing it with Brad Lambert. We're seeing it with Nikita Treberkov. We're even seeing it with guys like Kyle Capobianco taking advantage of opportunity and really having a damn good season, being an all-star in that matter. So at the end of the day, I think this is great for the Jets to get him in and get him at the AHL level, see how he plays, see how he's developed, development continues at this level, because he went from the WHL to the Prospects tournament where he didn't look that great to playing in the ECHL where he was dominant, and now he's starting to get himself into the AHL and find his footing down there. And I think this is important for him. Like I said, getting him as many games as possible down the stretch, I think would just be good, because why not use this as an opportunity to gauge where he is. Obviously, Laurent Brossoit is going to be up next year, and who knows if he's back. So I'm not saying that Thomas Milic is going to be the back end next year by any means, but at the same time, the Jets find themselves in a situation where one of these goalie prospects could be looking at a backup spot potentially within the next 2 to 3 years. I think is safe to say, especially with the fact that it's kind of wide open after Laurent Brossoit leaves. There is no real other option. Colin Delia is not going to be that guy, and even before they brought in Laurent Brossoit, obviously we know that it was, I'm even forgetting his name right now, David Riddick, was our goal backup last year, and it's just kind of these stopgap guys we keep putting behind Helly, except Laurent Brossoit coming back, which he's been great. But I think that position is going to be something we're going to have to look at in a couple of years to potentially fill, and why not fill it internally, especially if these guys can take advantage of the opportunity, continue their development pattern that they're on, and I think that's great for this organization, obviously. We're a draft and develop organization when it comes down to it, and if you can get a 5th round pick, 131st overall, playing in the league within 3 or 4 years of being drafted as a goaltender, I think that's pretty damn good and definitely worth that draft pick selection, arguably even a steal at that point. So let me know your thoughts on Thomas Milic and the Manitoba Moose down in the comment section below, as always, and any of your other favorite prospects that you are interested in and you want to see me talk about in the future. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace and positivity as always. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and check out all the other affiliate links down in the description below. Thank you guys again for watching all these videos. All the support this whole season has just been incredible to see, and I appreciate all of you from the bottom of my heart. Like I already said, peace and positivity as always. Go Jets go, and I will see you guys in the next one.